Hear the story of a local high school kid that just went to Congress last week. I'm James Parker. It's the James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. And our story starts on National Hijab Day. What was that, like February 1st or February 2nd? In fact, he's here with us now. Marco, 17 years old, at Wylie East High School. When was National Hijab Day? When did you get on everybody's radar?
Yes, this happened on February 2nd.
Okay, so on Groundhog Day, Marco goes to school at Wylie East High School. There's a table set up next to the cafeteria, and there's some people who are not part of the faculty or student body who are handing out hijabs, handing out Qurans, handing out pamphlets on why Islam, and they're proselytizing to the students. Marco makes a quick viral video. It goes viral. Attention is paid to the story. Makes it on the local news. And so, somehow following up, how did you end up in D.C., Marco?
Yes, Congressman Chip Roy has been behind me in this fight in Congress, and as starting the Sharia Free America Caucus, along with Congressman Keith Self. People from Congressman Chip Roy's team reached out and said if I could go testify before the subcommittee on the Constitutional Limited Government, what happened at my school, and that's how it fell into play.
Okay, so I learned some things in your chat with Congress last week. I did not know the backstory on the trouble you went through trying to start a GOP club. Can you do a quick summary of that storyline real quick?
Yes, so August 16th of 2024, my group, and I'm the president and founder of the Republican Student Club, we achieved every requirement. We had 10 members, a teacher sponsor, and a room to meet. We were denied for political reasons, even though the Muslim Student Association was approved, even though groups with gender-affirming ideology and their curriculum were approved. We were denied for political reasons, and we had to fight tooth and nail to get even just the basic recognition. Once we were approved after months and months of them, lying to us, we were the only club that couldn't have guest speakers. We were the only club that couldn't have flyers. We couldn't have social media page. We had to fight for basic rights that every other club automatically had. So we actually had the principals take down our posters while I was out of town because they had an issue with the American flag on it. So this is what we were up against. This was a double standard that we knew we were going to have to fight against.
Well, explain the other side of that double standard. This Islamic group, did they have to do background checks and fill out the same paperwork and go through the same process you did?
No, so we actually had we have a lot of guest speakers come. We had Senator Pat, once we did, finally get approval after we had to get elected officials involved. When Senator Paxton came, we had to have 2 weeks in advance, paperwork. We had to do a week in advance background check. I even have to miss my lunch sometimes to do this. But the Islamic group had the Why Islam group on campus, and to my knowledge, no procedures were in place for them. And they were actually connected to multiple terrorist organizations. So that's very concerning. So and our principal has also worn the hijab 2 years in a row, posting it on the, school profile. So this is a clear double standard.
We're talking with Marco. He is the GOP Student Club president at Wylie East High School, a local activist who spoke at a congressional hearing last week. So we talked about the double standard. We talked about the storyline between National Hijab Day and the way you were treated. Now, this week, there was a local activist, who shall remain unnamed, Marco, who was going to hand out Bibles yesterday, or was it today? Anyway, the ISD, Wylie ISD, sent out a warning letter to parents about the Bible. Did y'all get a warning letter for the Qurans being handed out?
No, there was no notification at all.
How did that go yesterday? Did Bibles get handed out? Because it was my understanding that he wasn't going to be allowed on the campus. He definitely wasn't going to be allowed in the gate or in the building. They can't legally do anything about him being in a public space, like on a sidewalk or an adjacent piece of property. So even at that arm's length, did it even happen yesterday? And how did it go?
So we actually had it this morning, and there was a few of us that put it together. And I would say we had about 50 to 55 people on our side there passing out Bibles, and we got rid of about 200 or 300 Bibles today. And it was just incredible, the move of God that happened. We were praying for people. This was something that you need to see in person. This was just a religious revival happening at the front of the school. It was beautiful.
Well, Marco, they've made a cause out of you. If they'd have just left you alone, I don't know if you'd be getting this much attention. But not all the attention's good. I also learned in your congressional hearing testimony last week about the nature of some of the death threats. Now, look, doing what I do, I get death threats too. I ignore all of them. I don't turn any of them into police. I just don't want that kind of smoke. But I think you've been getting worse death threats than I have.
Yes, when that had happened, I actually had to miss school the very next day after the video because of these dangerous threats that were happening.
The video? What's the video? I'm sorry.
Yes, after that video. And then also
your viral video about National Hijab Day.
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry.
On February 2nd.
I'm a little slow.
And no, you're fine. On the 3rd, I missed school because of death threats, and then the 4th, I had to go late because we had to write a security plan with the school resource officer and the principal. And when my mom had asked the principal to email all my teachers just to keep an extra eye on me, the principal told my mom, "You can." So in that moment, she dismissed my safety, and so that was also just a shame. What had happened. But the death threats that I faced, they happened actually today at the school. There was a counter protesters against us passing out Bibles, and they were chanting, "Marco's a fascist." But I pay no mind to it because like I said to Brandon Gill during the hearing, I wake up every morning with victory in Christ, and he is the only thing that can proclaim anything over my life.
Can I get you for one more segment here, Marco? You're very inspirational, and I got a couple more questions. Can you hang through the break?
Correct, yes.
All right. We're talking with Marco, GOP Student Club President at Wylie East High School, and he did you proud in his congressional hearing last week. More with him next on News Talk 820 93.3 FM WBAP.